Welcome y'all back to the What Do I Know podcast, and today we are going to be talking about self-destruction, because it is currently Wednesday, January 8th, 12:01 a.m. Now normally I'm in bed off electronics around 9 p.m. Today I have literally wasted so much time procrastinating, distracting, and talking to complete strangers online just through Snapchat, and watching random stuff that I've already watched on Netflix, and I don't know why, and I'm here to figure it out, and hopefully me working it out with myself will hopefully help someone else. Who knows? I don't know, but I don't know what else to talk about as of now, and this is something I need to work through, so probably someone else has to work through it. Don't know, but me personally, I keep choosing to do the actions that only hold me in the same place I am right now. I know the actions I need to take, yet I have chosen to take the actions that harm me. Yet I have chosen to take the actions that make it harder to make the choices that already have been difficult for me. And now, why is that? I know, but I just haven't asked the right questions. And I've been dealing with this for months on end. Actually years if I look back on it truthfully, and it comes down to what? Identity, that's a part. Comes down to frameworks, that is true. Comes down to what my self-worth is. Okay, those are three things. Let's talk about them. Well, we already kind of talked about frameworks. Frameworks is pretty self-explanatory, how you view the world, but also it kind of comes to how you view yourself and your self-talk. But that also goes towards what one views about themselves and self-worth. So there's those three things. Let's talk about them. Frameworks, self-talk, and self-image. Well, self-talk, how do we at least change that? Self-image, I don't know. I'm going to have to think through that. So I'm going to think on that while I talk about self-talk. How do you change self-talk? Well, you first do it by changing any other habit. First fundamental thing is you have to get new information to then have new thoughts to a point. And then with new thoughts, with new thoughts consistently over a long period of time, then in turn you'll get new actions. Excuse me. I've been up since 6 a.m. It is now 12 a.m., so I'm kind of tired. All fault's my own, and I gotta go do an interview tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9:30. 9:30. But, self-talk. So why is self-talk important, first off? Because I'm no expert. I never will claim to be an expert. I don't know if I'll ever claim to be an expert in anything, truthfully. Maybe an expert at enjoying the present moment. An expert in making the best out of crappy situations. Maybe an expert at living life to the fullest. Maybe those are the only three things I'll ever claim to be an expert at. Everything else, I have no clue. But self-talk, why is that important to even be aware of? Well, self-talk is important because the story you tell yourself is the story you will live. Because in life, you can control very few things. Actually, I've thought about this quite a bit, but I haven't made a proper list. So, let's make a proper list. What do we actually control in life? Let's see. I want someone, if anyone's watching this, write this down, because I'm going to have a prompt after I list this out on my piece of paper. What do we control? Or what's within my power? So let's say my time, because you can choose what actions you spend your time on. My action, my attention, my actions, my focus. That can be also attention. my effort, attention/focus, we'll do that. My intention, so we have what do we control? We control our time, attention, action/focus, effort, and intentions. What else do we control? We control our vibration, energy, we could say. So my energy/vibration. Do we control anything else? We control our standards. Our morals, frameworks, and principles. And our self-image. That is 9, potentially more, if you want to have your own categories for focus and attention. If you want to have your own sections for energy and vibration. If you want to have your own sections for morals, principles, and frameworks. But that is 9 main categories that I've just kind of rambled off that you have control over. Your time, your attention, your focus, your actions, your effort, your intention, your energy, your vibration, your standards, your morals, your principles, your frameworks, and your self-image. That's a lot That's a lot to control. Why do I bring this up? Well, at least from my experience and my perspective, I've seen a lot of people worry about things that aren't within my control and within their control. For example, today, I live in Chicago. Traffic is crazy. I think I read somewhere that Interstate 95, has the 3rd slowest average speed of any interstate at 20 miles an hour. Which is crazy. Because the speed limit's 55. But I see people who aren't going as fast as I'd like, going faster than I'd like, who don't use their turn signals, or who just are swerving in and out of lanes. Things I have all done, by the way. I'm guilty of every single account I just listed. More than once, to be noted for the courts. But those were all outside of my control. But after, which kind of segues into the next thing I wanted to talk about, after I got annoyed and started how'd you learn how to drive? Why are you doing this? I took a breath in and was like, don't let someone outside of me make me upset. Don't give someone else my power. And some people may think, oh, that's all hoo-da-da-da-da. But what did I do? I'm going to take a little page out of Tony Robbins. I changed my state, which is, in my book, my state is my energy and vibration combined. Because my energy, let's say, is the frequency. Well, the vibration is, frequency and vibration is kind of the same scientific definition. Okay, your energy is your vibe that you give off. Whenever people talk about, that he got good vibes, that's your energy. Vibration is more of how powerful, how potent, how authentic that energy, that vibe is. At least in my understanding, in my perspective. There it is. One of these days I'm not going to record myself on Google Meet. I'm going to figure out how to do this better. But as of now, as I'm still self-sabotaging until I figure that stuff out, this is what y'all have to deal with. So it'll be funny in the long run. But where was I? Self-sabotaging, step back. So vibe is energy. or you can just say the vibration. The point being is that just by me understanding that I was getting mad from something that wasn't within my control, and then laughing at myself, and then letting it go, gaining my control back. So what really happened there? What was the thought process? So for people who know how to drive, anyone 15 or older, basically 16 or older, you're just cruising, and then all of a sudden a guy, maybe a car and a half ahead of you, all of a sudden swerves over and goes into the exit that's up and coming on your left side. And me personally, for reasons I'll go into it, why not? So, my car is a 2006 Chrysler Sebring. She runs awesome. Her name's Mary, after the person who passed, who gave it to me, and also the anime One Piece. If you know, you know. Anyways, Mary has a weird issue with her horn. So what happens is, out of absolutely nowhere, for no reason that I have been able to decipher, that's not the word I was looking for. Decipher works. For no reason I can decipher out of my present knowledge and my previous experiences, I have not been able to figure out why that horn goes off. It is gone off completely still. No movement, sitting down, no wind. It just blares for like a minute, and then it just stops. When I'm driving, it does the same thing. So, one day, I'm getting out of my apartment to go return some things to, I think, an old mentor, if I recall correctly. And I turn the corner, I hear this very hush, just beeping. It was just something, it's like, you know, whenever you hear like a leaky faucet from like your living room or from outside the bathroom, where you're like, you aren't sure, but you're pretty sure it's the leak, or there's like a leaky faucet or something, or whenever, like, if anyone has any pets, that you're pretty sure it's your pet making that noise, but you're not so certain it is, and you gotta check it out. It's kind of the same thing with my car. I walked up and my horn was like going off, but it was super weak and super soft. I was like, wait, what is going on? So I think nothing of it. I was like, oh, okay, it's just doing the normal thing again, just blaring off it for no reason. Eventually it'll stop. And then I go to try and start my car. And then nothing happens. It just click, 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 click. And then I'm like, oh no, what happened? I try it again. It doesn't start. I try it again. It doesn't start. I pop the hood. Everything looked okay. I'm no mechanic, though. I'm no expert. And I tried it again. Click, 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 and nothing happened. It was just the starter. I was just burning off the starter, basically. So I got mad. I ripped open the fuse panel and then ripped the fuse out, because my baby brother and I, Brandon Rhodes, awesome kid, amazing football player, love him to death. Same thing with my other brother, Nick. I love him to death. But Brandon and I spent a whole day driving around Peoria looking for this fuse to fix the horn. And once we got it fixed, it still did the same thing. So it wasn't the fuse. Or I know that's not the technical term. Any grease heads? Is that what it is? I don't know. Anyone who's into cars, like my friend Anthony, I'm kind of into cars, but I have other stuff I need to study and learn. Cough, cough. Book. Sales psychology, all sorts of different stuff. I want to get into it. It's super awesome. I love cars. They are really cool. I also like motorcycles. Crotch rockets look like fun. Death trap on wheels, that's what makes it fun. Anyways, so I'm furious. I slam my car door, and then I just go upstairs because I can't do anything about it. Now, why did I bring that up? Oh yeah, that's why I don't have a horn. So I was driving towards the interview that I had today, and someone cut me off, and I got mad about it. I tried to blare my horn, and then I didn't have a horn, and then I stayed mad, and then I was like, man, you're not gonna really remember this. You're just mad because you didn't get your expectations met, which that's another episode I can dive into maybe later today. Yeah, if it's almost 1 o'clock, I'll dive into expectations. But basically, if it's not within my power, why would I give it my attention, focus, and energy? Why would I let someone else's actions ruin my day that's so inconvenient as them not being a good driver? Obviously, there's safety issues, yada, yada, yada. But just in general, you got the power over that. So why do I bring all this up? Well, that's the importance of understanding your inner dialect, because if you aren't aware of your thoughts, I wouldn't have been able, if I wasn't aware of my thoughts, I would not have been able to stop myself, correct myself, and then laugh about it. Enjoy my present moment, enjoy my perspective, and go with the flow. So I personally, to get out of this what is the word, deprecating? Is that the right word? What does deprecating mean? Deprecating. Expressing disapproving. Skadoosh.
Deprecate.
Oh, now it worked. Now she works. Thank you, Siri. But, yeah, so what was the three things? It was self-image, it was self-talk, and then it was what? I am very tired. Well, I think I expressed why self-talk is important. Now, how do you change it? Well, you change it like any other habit, from what I know and from what I've read and my previous experience and my present knowledge. Basically, you have to analyze whatever's going on. You have to first look inwards and understand what's the normal dialect, because I think the study was 98% of the thoughts you think are the same ones you've been thought the day before. And if you've been around for a few years or a few decades, in my case, a couple decades in my case, and anyone older, old habits die hard. Old thought processes die hard. Old thought patterns die hard. So you have to first understand and become aware of the patterns of thought in your mind. Then you got to figure out what are positive and what are negative. Then you got to figure out where the negative ones come from. And you got to figure out why you don't want the negative ones, what they're doing. And then you got to figure out what you want to say instead. And then you got to focus on one phrase you say a lot. For me, what would it be? Ooh, this is going to take a second. What is the main phrase I use whenever I start self-sabotaging? What's the phrase I use? Take a second and think for yourself. I don't want to do this. That's my number one. I don't want to do this. I'd rather. This will be. Yeah, those are the three. So, I don't want to do this. I would rather. Or this would be better or worse, or etc. etc. Mainly, I'd say, okay. So, for me, whenever I think, I don't want to do this. Well, where does that come from? Well, it comes from a mix of positive and negative places. For me personally, I don't want to do this. Mainly comes from choosing to bring on more responsibilities than I should have as a younger child through my parents' divorce. Man, I need to stop making this about myself. It's not like I don't like it to talk about myself. It's just that's not the point of the podcast. The point of the podcast is to help other people and to learn about the world and figure out morals, frameworks, and perspectives, and learn morals, frameworks, and principles, and learn about perspectives. Not to talk about myself. But I I guess I do have my own perspective, and it probably might help people. And it makes me more authentic, I guess. Okay, I'll roll with it. But during my parents' divorce, I tried to step up as a 10-year-old kid to try and fill my dad's roles as the oldest son. Oldest of me and my two younger brothers. Three of us in total. Because my mother is sick with a disease that basically, her immune system basically eats herself. At the time, we thought it was MS, but it really is MOGS, which was discovered like 2016, 2018, or something like that. Why do I bring this up? I try to shoulder all that responsibility on top of myself. And then I started repeating, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, etc., etc., etc. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, because that is the first phrase that really came to mind when I gave it a little bit of thought on what do I normally think before I start self-sabotaging, self-deprecating. Okay, now that I understand that whenever I think I don't want to do it, 9 times out of 10, it's because I am self-sabotaging, because I don't want to do the work that is being called upon me by my own choices, by the universe, by God, by fam, whatever you want to put there, is being called upon me. It's the adventure that I'm called to. So what do I mean? Why is that important to know? Well, whenever I think I don't want to do this, I should then, now that with understanding, if I truly want to change, I should look for whenever I say that. So let's say, for example, I should go to bed. I don't want to deal with tomorrow. Well, I'd rather become the man who can accomplish my dreams than stay the man I am now. So I'm going to go to bed. Now, what did I just do right there? I took the habit. So basically, a habit is trigger, response. What you have to do next is stop the response, replace it with a new one. So then eventually that trigger will be the new response. So what did I do there? You have to figure out the response, and then you have to figure out your triggers. And then you gotta interrupt the response to replace a new response in. For example, every single morning I get up at 6 a.m. and I take a cold shower. I'm not going to want to do that in 5.5 hours. That's going to suck. That's going to really suck. Oh, that's a battle. I don't want to do it. Well, I want to become the man who accomplishes my dreams, who achieves my vision, who surpasses my ambitions, and not say the man I am now. Right there, that's a perfect example of what I mean. The trigger was an action that I don't want to do that I'm struggling with. My response is, I don't want to. Once I said I don't want to, bang, I take in the new phrase, the new thought pattern, the new thought process, and replace it with something positive. Well, this is what it requires from me to become the man who achieves my dreams. I'd rather do that than say the man I am right now. That's how you change your thought patterns. Now, I gotta practice what I preach, y'all. And also, I think this isn't the first time I've spoken upon this. It takes a while. I've been working on this for months and months, and I've gotten better. But progress is exponential. What do I mean by that? Well, let me use my calculator because, oh, come on, 15 minutes. Okay. So, give me a second. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. Damn. Okay, so for example, right? Think of growth is exponential. What do I mean by that? So we'll do a little. Actually, wait. Can't I pull up the calculator? I can. Calculator. Okay, awesome. So growth is exponential. What do I mean by that? Well, if you do, where is the button for time? Oh, no. 2 times 2. And then times 2. So each multiplication is you replacing your habit with the new one. New thought pattern, new friendship, new habit. Anything positive that you were working towards. And it started off with just 2 times 2. But with each and every habit, it gets bigger and stronger, more potent, more effective, and easier to grow. And eventually, if you keep doing it, you're going to reap the rewards. Now, it never gets easier. It never will get easier. Some people may think like, oh, that's horrible, that's terrifying. I want it to get easier. Life isn't easy. But if you keep doing the same action, building and cementing the same habit over a long enough period of time, continuously, you'll get stronger. Now, why am I showing you this? This is exponential growth. I don't know how many repetitions I honestly did, but that's 3, 6, 9. That's what, 4,294,967,296, which is just a multiple of 2. All we did was do 2 times 2 during the duration of time I talked to you. That's all. So 800 times. Let's do 840 times. 840 divided by, let's do 16, which is 856. So roughly, give or take, we did, roughly, give or take, we did 500 repetitions to get to 4 billion. That couldn't have been 500 repetitions anyways. I don't know where I got that math from, but within that brief conversation, we took 2 times 2 up to 4 billion just because of exponential growth. Just because we did that same habit again and again and again. Our strength, our willpower, our consistency, and our XP, and for any gamers out there, our experience grew exponentially. So it's gonna be hard, but that's what personal development is. The universe, God, Jesus, whatever you believe in, Buddha, whatever you believe in. I say, just to encompass everything, I'm going to take a page from Andrew Tate. Universe, he said God, but I like universe. The universe gave me demons to make me stronger man. And whatever you want to identify as, I don't care. Same principle. You have what you have to face to make you into the person that the universe wants you to become. The best version of you lays behind the challenges you must face. The gatekeeper to your goals is yourself and those demons. You just gotta make the choice to do it. So, I hope that I explained why self-talk is important, why and how you can fix the habitual thoughts, which I need to start working on with I don't want to. That's going to be what I focus on from here on out, is whenever I say I don't want to, Well, I want to become the man that achieves my dreams. I don't want to stay the man I am now. That's what I'm going to say from here on out. So, the real reason why I made this. Self-sabotage. Why do I self-sabotage? Why do people self-sabotage? Oh, identity. That was the third one. Okay, so it was self-talk, self-sabotage, and identity. That's where the three things. I told you. I think I remember it, right? I'm going to have to rewatch this. I guess self-sabotage and identity are correlated. Okay, well, why is identity important? What is identity? That is like a psychology question. I ain't no psychologist. By far. No expert. As y'all know. I'm just some guy talking to himself as of now. Who knows, maybe I do a live stream of this. That'd be cool. Think about it. Talking to like 3 people. Just live. Just chatting. That'd be pretty cool. One day. Oh, that'd be awesome. But why is identity important? Well, what is identity? Identity is the way you characterize yourself, which is built off of your personality, the frameworks given to you by your family, and your past experiences. From what I know. But I think that's pretty encompassing. So your identity is your self-talk, your past experiences, and the frameworks you hold present day with the influence of your family. Yeah. Okay, and why is that important? Well, as we've talked about in the past, frameworks are important because that's how you see the world. Those are your 3D glasses of the world, or your rose-tinted glasses, as I've heard before in the past, or your solar eclipse glasses, depending on what you're looking at, or what you want to see and hear. So that's why frameworks are important, because they dictate how you decipher experiences. So even though, hopefully, there's more than 2 people watching this video, every single person who's watching this video is probably around someone or around something. Every living thing experiences the same moment, but we all perceive it differently because of our frameworks and because of our biology and our past experiences. But it mainly stems from our biology and frameworks. Can't change your biology to a point. Obviously, you can make your body healthier given your genetics, but you can't change your genetics legally given the technology and the legislation around it, because there are ways you can clone a whole human from just skin cells and regress aging in mice. It's pretty wild out there. But in 3D print organs and all sorts of different crazy stuff. It's cool, sketchy, but cool, really cool. Hopefully they can figure out my mom's disease. But anyways, not the point. The point being is that your identity is key. Excuse me, it's almost 1 o'clock. I gotta figure this out before I go to bed, because I spent probably 6 hours today. No certain job. No guaranteed way to make money. Sitting on my phone. And a shit ton of debt. That's unacceptable. And I gotta figure out why I keep self-sabotaging myself, which is why I'm making this video. So I already figured out the main thought pattern that I need to work on, which is I don't want to do it, or I don't want to, which I replace it with I don't want to do it. Well, I don't want to stay the man I am now. And this is what it takes for me to become the man who achieves my dreams. I want to do that instead of stay the same. Bam. That's the work I need to do for my thought process. Now, identity. Where do I start on identity? Well, I just covered morals, frameworks, and principles. Wait, no. I discovered what I think makes up identity, which is your past experiences, your perspective, which is built of your frameworks, of your biological senses, and your past experiences. Identity also comes from your self-narrative and the frameworks given to you by your family. So what is identity? Well, it's all the things I just listed, mushed into one, throw some ego in there as well. Identity is basically the framework of how you... I'm no expert. I know I sound like I come off as an expert. I'm not an expert. I will probably say that at least. That's probably going to be one of the most said words or sentences on this podcast. I'm not an expert. But I'm getting tired and more exhausted by the moment, and my brain's fogging up. Fogging is what I said. Fogging. Fogging. Maybe there's only one G in there. Fogging? I don't know. I'm no English major. I'm not an expert. But how do we change our identities? That's a question. Well, we figure out what our identities are. It's basically the frameworks given to us from our families, our past experiences, our senses, and the story we tell ourselves mixed in with an ego. So basically, it's how we view ourselves given our experiences and past expectations and how those expectations were met. So would our identity then be expectations put upon the future given our frameworks and experiences? Because expectations are the thief of joy. Expectations can also be the creator of joy. It's a fun little thought experiment. But focus. How do I change my identity? How do you change your identity? You gotta figure out what you think of yourself. How do you view yourself? Well, let's just say it out loud. How do I view myself? I view myself as a man who strives to be liked by everyone, who tries to bring a smile to everyone's face, who is adventurous, curious, and intelligent, who has an ego and a pride problem, who doesn't deserve the things in his life. He has to... If he tries, he'll fail, and if he doesn't try, he'll fail, so there's no point in trying. There we go. That's what I need to work on. Alright, so where did that thought process come from? Where did that little nugget of just pure poison come from? That if you try, you fail, and if you don't try, you will fail. So there's no point in even trying. Where did I get that from? That's a good question, because that ain't helpful. Well, if I shift thought process and I extract that seed of poison, that probably helped me a lot. Okay, let's run with it. So I have that identity, that way I view myself. So how do I change that? I gotta make little promises to myself that contradict that. What do I mean by that? Well, since I believe and I almost said belonged, because I'm tired. What's the past tense of believed? I believed? That's just, yeah. I have believed in the past that if I didn't try, or if I give it some effort, good enough effort, and I fail, it's Jesus. Oh, exhaustion really bites you. It's like, actually, if you stay up long enough, which I don't recommend, it's scientifically horrendous for you. But after a certain point, people do hallucinate from staying up long enough because their body's like dying. It's crazy. Don't recommend it. Don't ever do it. You'll see some terrifying stuff. I had insomnia for a while. That was sketchy and scary and terrifying. I don't recommend it. Anyways, how do you change identity? Well, you gotta figure out what you want to change about yourself and how you view yourself. I want to change how I view my effort and my effort, my inputs. My old belief was I shouldn't try because I'll fail even if I do try, so might as well not put in the effort. If I did give effort, it was good enough effort, half-assed, as my grandfather would wisely say. So how do I change that? Well, I gotta prove myself otherwise. How do I do that? Well, I gotta give myself evidence to disprove that statement. How do I give myself evidence to disprove that even if I try, I won't fail? Well, I guess I'm no expert. I'm winging all this, y'all. But I guess then I'd have to define what failure means to me. Well, failure would be my expectations not being met, and not giving enough effort, and giving up, to stop trying. Okay. Expectations, failure. You can't use the word in the definition. So expectations, effort, giving up. Those three things then are what define failure. Failure is then what I am trying to avoid. So then if I shift my expectations down to just say, I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to just take I'm going to take a cold shower every day. I'm going to do body weight workouts every day. And I'm going to stretch every day. And I'm going to breathe every day. And I'm going to meditate every day. If I just do that, I work on myself every day, that will set me up for the rest of the day. I'll conquer everything else. And I should not lower my expectations in the sense of like, oh, well, you should only wake up at 6 a.m. I think you should adjust your expectations to what you know you can do 1,000% every single day. For some people, for me, whenever I first started this journey, it was just making my bed. It was just cleaning my apartment. My apartment isn't even all the way clean yet. I'm supposed to clean every Sunday. It's now Wednesday at 12:45 a.m. and my place ain't clean. I can go and that's a whole nother topic. But, okay, so this has been a bit of a ramble and kind of all over the place because I'm really tired and ADHD and exhaustion kind of like, oh. So what did I just work out? To change my identity, I have to figure out what beliefs about myself I have to change that are negative. The belief I came up with was, don't even try. If you try, you'll fail. I figured out what failure means. Failure means giving up, not enough effort, and not having my expectations met. So if I want to change my belief of don't try, because even if you do try, you'll fail. So if I shift my expectations lower to something that's I can do every single day, if I choose not to stop giving effort towards the action, and as long as I, it was give up, effort, and expectation. Yeah. So if I lower my expectation to something I can do every single day, if I don't give up, and if I keep giving it effort, then the belief of don't even try, because if you try you'll fail, should change. Now why do I believe that? I think because I figured out what I believed is the opposite of my belief. The belief was don't try because you'll fail even if you do. The new belief is set a goal you can 1,000% hit. Don't give up. And focus and try until you achieve it. Don't set a time. Well, set a timeline in general, but this is a belief of mine now. I'm going to embody here soon eventually. The belief I used to hold was don't try because your effort won't be good enough. Because you'll fail. My new belief is set your expectations to reality. Don't give up and take action upon that until it becomes reality. I think that's pretty good. I hope that's pretty good. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if this is going to make sense or not. I hope it does. I hope it helps someone out because it has to help me out because I got to figure this out because I'm just self-sabotaging. Oh yeah, self-sabotage. That was the whole point of this. How do I fix self-sabotage? Well, I got to fix my thoughts. I got to fix my self-image. So I'm working on that. I got to fix my beliefs. That's probably a better way to put it. So I'm fixing my thoughts. I'm fixing my beliefs. How do I stop self-sabotaging? Well, I guess my beliefs, thoughts, and actions give me the results. If my thoughts and beliefs are negative towards myself, then the actions I take will then be negative. So if I change my thoughts and my beliefs about myself to something positive, then the actions I would take would be more positive. That's a good hypothesis to figure out. I hope that helps. It seems to help me. I feel better. I feel a bit more resolved. I feel like I've come to a resolution. But, yeah. I'm satisfied. Hope this helps. I need to go to bed. It is 12:50 a.m. on January 8th, 2025, and I got a 9:30 meeting to go to tomorrow with a 30-minute commute without traffic. Appreciate your time, y'all. This has been a conversation to my exhausted self, and hopefully it helps someone in the audience, I hope. If worst case scenario, it helped me out a lot, so that's pretty good. That's a positive at least. But appreciate y'all going on this ride with me. Peace, y'all. Till next time.